Jan with Jan Patek Quilts, and we're on to the next block in our dual purpose calendar quilt, table stand quilt, which is May flowers. And these are flowers from my garden. I have some really neat oriental poppies that I got from my great aunt Odell, who lived in Harper, Kansas. And then I found recently, it's probably 10, 15 years ago, but that's recently, some big salmon colored poppies that are just beautiful, that bloom a little later than those, but still in May. So these are May flowers in our May basket. And we've already covered baskets and handles and stems in Natalie's quilt. So if you want to see how to do all that part, go to the tutorial on Natalie's quilt. And then we covered stems and leaves in baskets in Eagles and Roses. I think it was in an urn instead of a basket, but you can get the idea. Same principle. So what we're going to focus on today is doing the curves, inside and outside curves on the poppies. And we will start off, I just did this in the March hairs, but I'm going to do it again because some people have a lot of, I want to say trouble, and Jenny, don't tell me don't say trouble, don't say problems. A lot of people find circles challenging. Now, we do have a tutorial on all the different sizes of circles, but these are very small, so were the bunny's eyes. This is a 1/2 inch dot. If you use the little dots you get at your office supply store, it's a 1/2 inch dot. Looks smaller than that to me, but it's a 1/2 inch dot. Okay, so you cut out either your freezer paper applique circle that comes with the pattern and iron it to the back, or your 1/2 inch dot you just stick to the back, and then you cut out a 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch circle around it. Then you take your needle and thread, and I used the same color this time. You don't have to if you're not going to sew them right down. And do that running stitch around the outside. That's funny. Every time now when I say something is a problem, I think of Jenny. We had so much fun working together, and I'd say, that's a real problem. No, it's not, Jen. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. Okay. So I think of that now every time I do it. On the rare occasion we get to see each other anymore, we're both so busy. Okay. Pull. And do a little stitch. And then you're going to turn it over and sew it to the middle of your flower. Okay? And if you're doing it this way and it's not something like snowman mouths or something like that where you're going to have to place them afterwards, you're going to just sew them right down. Make sure you do it in the color of the berry. Okay. Now, we've sewed that down, and we need to sew our poppy onto our background. And what we're going to do now is sew this down around here. And the first thing we're going to do, if I had this on the block, I would use a dot of glue to hold it in place. In fact, I might do that now anyway. Here's our glue. Because it really is so much easier to sew when you're not dealing with pins that are sticking you. Okay, there. Now, okay, now that we've got that and we don't have to worry about pins, we're going to take our scissors and cut on the inside curves right up to the line, but not past it. If you go past it, don't freak, but you'll just have to make your curve a little But you need at least 3 of these because you don't want points. And if you only got 1, you've got a point. If you've got 2, you're going to have it try to fold under in kind of a line between the 2. If you have 3 of them, you'll get a curve. So on each curve here, cut 3. Okay. Now, take this and finger press it along the line. And as you can see, our big quilt back there, we're moving right along. The log cabin block that's on the back of the table stand quilt goes clear over here in the large quilt. And I will say, it's kind of interesting doing the different kinds of quilt. I know there's a controversy running around in the quilt world about whether you cut out behind applique. And I'll probably get in trouble with some people. In fact, I know I will. But I don't cut out behind the applique if it's going to be machine quilted. Because the machine quilting, that needle will go through as many layers as you want to with little teeny stitches. But if you're hand quilting it, especially like here, I cut out behind that flower and cut out behind the basket. Because otherwise, when I quilted my neat little basket there, I would be quilting through 1, 2, the batting and the backing, 4 layers. And when you get up here, you add another layer. So you're cutting through 5 layers. And you absolutely cannot get small hand stitching if you're doing it that way. So if I'm going to hand quilt something, I cut out behind the applique. If I'm not going to hand quilt it, I don't. Okay, so there. Now I'm going to be in trouble with people, I'm sure. Anyway, back to you sew, but I've been in trouble of one kind or another all my life. Not really. Not really. Just do your little stitch, and if you get a point when you're going around your outside curves, you don't ever clip your outside curves because that will give you points. You just turn it under. It's the same thing as the bunny's legs, only these are much gentler curves and they're a lot easier to do. I'm kind of excited about these table stand quilts. I've got ideas for another one for next year. That's always been my problem. Somebody said, do you ever worry about running out of ideas? No, I worry about being able to get them done. Because once I get the idea, I want to see it. I want to see what it looks like. But of course, that means you've got to make it. And that takes a little longer sometimes than coming up with the idea. So you just keep using your needle where you've clipped, pulling it under, then particularly right here, that needs to come back out to where you have a gentle curve. And sew it under. And pretty soon, you have a basket full of flowers. We hope you've enjoyed this tutorial from Jan Patek Quilts. If you did, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and have a good day.